Alright, Assalamualaikum and good day. So today we're going to look at a new chapter, which is chapter number 2, control flow. Right, in control flow we will learn about if-else statement and then looping statement. Right, for this part we will look at if-else statement. So control flow is actually it's a critical concept in programming that allow for execution of code in a non-linear fashion. Right? Control flow structure in R allow you to specify which piece of code are to be executed and in what order. Right? This structure enable you to create dynamic program that can make decision, repeat action, and handle different inputs. So you can look at control flow in your book, page number 57, right? So all the notes are available in page number 57. So first step, we will look at how to understand the if statement. So if statement is a fundamental component of flow control in R. It evaluates a given condition, and if the condition is true, the block of code within the if statement will be executed. If not, if false, it will ignore the statement. Right? So this is about if lah. So this is a basic concept or basic syntax of if statement. First, we put the function if and we state the condition. So after that, after we state the condition, we will open a curly bracket. We will state a curly bracket, open curly bracket on the same line, right? In the first line. Then for our execution codes, we will put it into a second line. Right? So the second line will be your codes to be executed lah. And then the third line will be your close curly bracket. This is the condition to execute the if and if else condition. Right. So mesti ada open curly bracket and close curly bracket. The open curly bracket in the first line, the closed curly bracket should be on the last line after your quotes. So let's look at example number 1. This example are available in your book, page number 58. So now we are trying to check for positive number. So let's say I create a positive number, right? Then I start with if function, if, and then type condition when if x is more than 0, and I buka dengan curly bracket. So when I open with curly bracket, the second line will be your codes to execute. So if x is true, x is more than 0, so I want R to print x is a positive number. Then I will close with the curly bracket. So this is the end of the first condition when this is true. If this condition is false, letak satu lagi function else. So else ni mesti sama satu line dengan close curly bracket for if, right? And then when I type else, I letak open curly bracket, right, for else, and letak print x is a negative number, and I close the curly bracket for else. So this will return x is a positive number since x equal to 5. If I change it x equal to negative 1, so it will tell us this is a negative number. So it means that the first condition is violated. So it will go to the second condition where we want to print x is a negative number. Okay, so let's look at example number 2. So this one you can pause the video if you don't get the codes. I think I want you to do with me, right? So you are not missing any codes. Now let's look at example number 2. In example number 2, we want to validate age of for voting. So in this example, if statement check whether a person is eligible to vote based on their age. Nowadays, if age more than 18 years old, you are eligible to vote, right? So if age is 18 or above, a message is printed indicating eligibility to vote. So now the first thing I create a number, age number. So age equal to 17. So now I put if age, the condition if age is more than or equal to 18, and I'll open the curly bracket. The second row I put my my codes, which is print if you are eligible to vote. Then I finish with the close curly bracket for if. This is the first condition. So if this condition is violated, it's not true, right? And then I want R to print you are not eligible to vote. So I put else in the same row of the close curly bracket of if, right? So, and then I open the curly bracket for else, print you are not eligible to vote, and I close the curly bracket for else. So nampak dekat sini, satu proses dekat atas, open and close, satu lagi proses dekat bawah, open and close. So now I run this one. You are not eligible to vote since your age is equal to 17. If my age equal to 27, it's supposed to be you are eligible to vote. Right, so they can meet the condition. The first condition is true, they can print the first condition. If false, they can print the second condition. Alright. Right. So let's look at example number 3, which is checking for non-negative number. Right. In this example, I demonstrate the use of if statement to check whether the number is non-negative, either positive or 0. So this is the same example as number 1, right? So but now I'm going to use paste function. Let's say if I letak number, this is number -10, so I put the first condition function is if, and I put the number the condition number is more than or equal to 0, and I start with open curly bracket, and then the second row will be print paste number is not negative number, and then I close with the curly bracket for if function, and then if the number is negative, then I will put else and open curly bracket. The next row will be print number is a negative number, and I close with the curly bracket. Right, this is for close for curly bracket for else, this is close curly bracket for if. So now I run, I will get -10 is a negative number. If I change it to 20, just 20, a positive, so it will show tell us 20 is a non-negative number. Very simple to understand, right? So let's look at example number 4. Number 4, in this example, I just want to validate the password length. So this is just a basic example to make sure you understand the concept of if and else, right? So this is the password that I want to check, right? So now I create if the condition is nchar. Nchar means that I want to check the password, the length of character. So nchar, let's say nchar, I letak nchar Ahmad. So it will tell us there are 5 character, 5 letter in this character. Right, so this one nchar is just to check how many the length of your character word. So if the nchar password is more than or equal to 8, then I open the curly bracket, and the next row will be my condition, the password is valid. And then I will close with the curly bracket for if. So if this condition is not met, then I should print another one, else curly bracket, print password length is invalid, it must be at least 8 character long, right? So what happen if I don't want to put this? Let's say I make it comment and I'll run until this. Let's say I copy this one, I put into a console. So it will show the password is valid if the password is more than 8. Right? Let's say I change it to just Nasir 5 element. So it will not print anything because the first condition is not met, then it will not do anything. So if you not specify else. And what happen if I put else not in line with the close curly bracket for else, for if, right? So this one I letak else dekat bawah. So what happen? Dia akan keluar error lah sebab dia tak boleh baca else dekat bawah. So dia mesti in line with the close bracket of if, right? Baru you akan nampak the password. The password is valid. This password is not valid, right? So the password is not valid and it must be at least 8 character long, right? Itu saja, but you need to understand the concept, right? Once you understand the concept, then it should be very easy to perform if and else function. Now let's look at example number 5, which is changing variable to factor data type. So in this case, a bit advanced because I'm using for function, but we're going to learn for function later on in detail. But in this one, I just want to use looping because I want R to read all the variable names in the empty car dataset. Remember, in empty car dataset, let me remove empty cars. Right. So let's check str empty cars dataset. So originally, all variables are in numerical form, but we know that CYL is supposed to be factor, VS, AM, gear, and carburetor supposed to be factor. Now, in this case, I'm using for because I want R to convert each of the variable to become from numeric to factor. Normally, before this, what we do is, let's say I put it in data 1, empty car, because I don't want to disturb the original data. Let's say data 1 CYL as factor, data 1 CYL. Right, this is what I have taught you before this, right? So if you want to change for BS, you need to do one by one. So this is quite lengthy or quite a tedious procedure to do. Now, in this example, I just want to do it simultaneously. Simultaneously means that I want it to be done in one operation codes. So now I put it the condition if is the variable, means variable names. So names will be the names of the variable in the data set, which is MPG, CYL, and so on. If the variable consists of CYL, VS, AM, gear, and carburetor, and I open the curly bracket, the next condition is I want R to convert the variable name, right, CYL, as factor, right? And then I close the curly bracket, else do nothing, next. So what will happen here is it will change the factor to the number, the variable to factor. str empty car here. Now you can see CYS already changed it to factor. VS, AM, and carburetor also changed to factor, right? So that is a very good function to do. Right, let's look at another example, which is example number 6, right? So I have 8 examples for this topic. So this one I want to assign grade assignment. This one I'm using a multiple condition, right? Multiple condition where I put if else in multiple way. So the first one, I want to create a score. If the score is more than or equal to 90, I will indicate it as A. If a score more than or equal to 80, I will indicate it as B. And if the score more than or equal to 70, should be C. Score more than or equal to 60 should be D, and S, and lain-lain sepatutnya sebagai F. So this is the score that I create, 99. So if the score more than 90, more than or equal to 90, I open a curly bracket, I put the condition, this is going to be A, and then I close the condition. And before this, we learn if the next argument should be else. Now in our else, now we have another argument, right, condition, where if the score more than or equal to 80, it should be print B, and then I close the bracket for the second if. Else, if the score more than or equal to 70, I open the curly bracket, put the condition, result, print C, and close the curly bracket, and so on. And last, I have if the condition is not met for more than 60, more than 70, more 90, until more 90, so it should indicate F. Right, so this one I should for else I should close with curly bracket as well. Right, so this is what we call as a multiple condition if. So since the score is 99, the grade is A. If the score equal to 20, I change here, the grade should be F. Right, so this is about multiple condition. Okay, so you can refer this code in my website, right, under flow control. I will already put it into my website. You can refer the code back. And then I have another example, which is, this is the same example for multiple condition. So this one I want to display a message of the day of the week. So if Sunday or Saturday, so I will indicate this is a weekend. If Monday, this is the first day of the week. If Friday, almost weekend, and other than that is weekdays. So this is the data that I put. Day is equal to Friday. So the first argument, if day equal to Sunday or day equal to Saturday, open curly bracket, I print this is a weekend, and then I close the curly bracket. Else, if day equal to Monday, open curly bracket, print this is first day of the week, and then I close the curly bracket. And then same goes to Friday, right? Almost weekend, close curly bracket, else print it is weekdays. So if you can see here, the first if, this one, first loop, the second statement here, the third statement here, and last is else, which is it is weekdays. So this one, Friday, should be almost weekend. If I change it to Tuesday, it should be it is weekdays. And if I change it to Sunday, it will show this is weekend. Right? If I change it to Monday, it will say that this is first day of the week. But in this code, it has some weakness. If we specify Sunday, Saturday, Monday, or Friday, it will show the result correctly. If you specify Tuesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, it will show it is weekdays. But if you specify others than that, 5 for example, it also shows that it is weekdays, because else means that other than this condition, it will display it is weekdays, right? So Wednesday. Okay, so the last example is the same thing for multiple condition. I want to categorize individual to age group. So when age is less than 12, it should be categorized as child. If age is less than or equal to 19, it should be categorized as teenagers. Age less than or equal to 35 should be categorized as young adult, and so on. So the first condition, if age is less than or equal to 12, open curly bracket, print this is child, and close curly bracket. Else, if age less than 19, print teenagers, right? Close curly bracket, and so on until else is senior. So since the age is 34, it should be young adult. If age equal to 65, it should be senior, right? If age equal to 38, it should be equal to young adult, adult, means that less than 60, okay? If age equal to 34, it should be young adult. Okay, I think that's all for if else statement, right? Okay, so now kita continue on the next function in if else. This is what we call if else statement. So in this case, we have a single word if else. Right? If else statement function in R vectorized alternative is an alternative vectorized to if else statement. If else statement allowing for more concise and efficient condition operators on vector. It evaluates the condition for each element of a vector and return new vector with value assigned based on whether the condition is true or false. So this is an example. We just put the function if else in one word, right? And then we put a bracket. There are no curly bracket anymore, right? This is the first expression, our code, our condition. And then we separate it by comma. The second argument will be your return value if this operation is true, right? And then we comma. This is for else. If the condition is not true, they akan display dekat Y, right? Boleh faham, ah? So this one is already explained in page number 60. Right, let's look at example 1. Right, this is example 1. Wait. So this is example number 9, right? Example number 9. Example number 9, categorizing numbers as positive or negative. Right. So kita tengok example ni. So in this example, the if else function is used to categorize a vector of numbers as either positive or negative. Right. So kita akan guna if else function ni, positive or negative, to classify whether they positive or negative lah. So now, so let's create a number. Kat sini I letak dalam page number 61, I letak number equal to C, I letak beberapa lah, negative 2, right, 3, negative 5, let's say kita letak lagi 0, 9, negative 4, for example, kan. And then I letak if else, the function if else, right, and letak number more than or equal to 0, so print positive. Else, kalau dia kurang daripada kosong, it should print negative. So see what happened here. Dekat sini, the first number should be negative, positive, negative, positive, positive, negative. Should return like that lah. Tapi kalau kita tengok dekat sini, right? Oh, sorry. Number tadi kita dah ambil atas kan? Okay, right. So, dia akan jadi macam ni, right? Negative, positive, negative, positive, positive, negative. So, it will return the value for each element in the numbers. Alright? Okay, boleh? So this is one of example, macam mana kita tengok dengan atas ni tadi kan, determine the positive and negative numbers, right? So now kita tengok example number 10, which is assigning pass or fail to student grade, right? So this example demonstrate the use of the if else function to assign pass or fail to a vector of student. Right? So, benda yang sama, but now kita tak guna if condition else condition, but kita akan guna if else in one statement lah. So let's say kita assign grades, right? Grade, let's say I letak 85, 84, 90, 55, 20, and then kita letak tinggi sikit 99 and 40, right? For example. And then if else dekat sini, if else grade is more than or equal to 60, right? Kita akan indicate sebagai pass, and if not, it will indicate sebagai fail, right? Ini dalam if else function ni, kita hanya boleh letak dua condition saja, kalau betul dan salah. Right, kita tak boleh letak, if you have more than one condition, then you cannot use if else statement ni lah. You should use if else condition yang kita belajar sebelum ni. Right, so dia akan indicate this is pass, pass, fail, fail, pass, fail. Right, based on the element yang kita letak tadi kan. Right, next let's look at another example. 11, right? Handling missing values. Right, so kita nak tengok how to handle missing value. This is some of the real example jugalah. So we want to replace NA. NA here is the missing value in R, right? In a vector with the mean of missing values, right? So NA dalam R represent a missing value. So if you have a missing value, so it will show NA. So let's say we have a data. So I letak data 1, 2, NA 4, NA and 6. So supposed to be 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So now first thing I want to do is to find mean value. So I want to replace the missing value here with the mean value. So NA ni I nak letak mean value. Maksudnya 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 6, 13 divided by 4. Supposed to be 3.2 lah. So but we're not going to do that operation. We want to use mean data NA.rm equal to true. So if you don't put NA.rm equal to true, it will return NA, right, for the mean function. So by right, this one should be so kat sini dia akan dapat 3.25 lah, benda yang sama kan. Alright, so now next I'm going to use if else, right? If the data contain a missing value, so how to check data contain missing value is .na, right? Is.na is to check whether the data indicate missing, right? The generic function is.na indicates which element are missing. So this is a function for is.na dot data, right? Data. And then we're going to replace mean value. If not, we're going to remain as it is, right? So kita akan letak balik. So what happened here, dia akan replace, nampak tak? 1, 1, 2, dia akan remain lah. Kalau 1, dia tak missing kan? So dia akan remain kepada data. 2, dia akan remain kepada data. This is number 3 is missing. Now dia akan replace kepada 3.25. So this is another way to use if else function. Okay, boleh faham? Alright, let's look at another example. Example number 12, which is we want to determine the parity of numbers. Right, the parity of numbers means going to be either it is an odd number or even number. Right, so this example uses the if-else function to determine whether the numbers in a vector are odd or even. Right? So we're going to use if-else function juga. So now let's create a number. Right? C. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So we know that this is odd number, right? 1, 3, and 5. And this is even number 2, 4, and 6. Right? So we want to classify that number to be odd or even. So this is very good when you want to do analysis about utilizing a factor variable. So let's look at if-else. This is the function. If-else numbers. Kalau kita nak detect even number macam mana? The modulus, right? The modulus of the division tu, division number, yang baki dia mesti kosong kan? The modulus should be equal to 0, right? So when we divide by 2, right? When we divide by 2, the modulus should be equal to 0. So percentage means that the modulus means the baki of the division, right? Baki dia lah. So number ni 1 bahagi 2, kalau tak sama dengan kosong, kita akan letak kalau dia sama dengan kosong, kita akan beritahu dia even number, right? If they are not equal to 0, kita akan kata this is odd number. Right, very simple. Right, so dia classify dekat sini, this is odd number, even number, odd number, even, odd number, and so on. Right? Okay, boleh faham how to use if-else function? Okay, later I will post in my website. I will post the notes in my website. Right? Maybe I will post kejap lagi. Kejap, I post now lah. Wait. Alright, if you go to my website, right? You go to my website and you nampak kejap, I stop presenting. I present the whole thing lah, entire. Right? So you go to my website. And click on notes on R and find flow control dekat sini. This is all the notes that I'm presenting here today. Dekat bawah sekali ni ada exercise, right? Exercise 1, 2, 3 until 7 lah. So I want you to do it by today, right? And convert it into a HTML file and send through uFuture by today before 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock okay ke? Ataupun before 6 lah. Before 6 PM. This is fair time to give to you lah. Ada 6 soalan exercise. You buat sebelum pukul 6, you kena hantar dalam uFuture. Right? Very simple exercise, right? So kalau you tak faham, you boleh tengok balik this video later on. Right? I akan post dalam YouTube. So you boleh tengok balik the codes that I already published here. Right? And then you can practice the exercise. Alright? So I think that's all for the first part where we learned about flow control if and else statement. So kita akan ambil masa 5 minit ke 10 minit lah. 10 minit rehat untuk the next session, which is looping. Right? Okay, boleh? Alright, for the next part, we're going to look at looping in R. This is also in a control flow, right? Flow control or control flow is the same thing lah. So, looping is a fundamental concept in programming where a set of instruction is executed repeatedly based on a condition or fixed number of times. Right? Kita dah tengok tadi sikit snippet berkenaan dengan loop, for loops. So R provides several mechanisms for looping such as for function, while, repeat, break, and next. Right, so the first thing that we're going to look at is for loop. So for loop is used to iterate over a sequence, right? Dia akan iterate over a sequence number or like a vector list and execute a block of code for each element in the sequence. So maksudnya setiap satu sequence yang kita letak, right, dia akan evaluate satu sampai dah habis sequence. So this is how to use with first state for function, and we state the sequence variable in sequence and then open curly bracket. The next line will be your codes to execute, and we close the loop with the close curly bracket, right? So now let's look at the example. Let's say kita tengok example number 1, which is example number 1 boleh tengok dalam buku muka surat 62, which is printing. Kita tengok dalam buku, and then I try to bring others example that not in books, right? So you're not boring. So in this example, a for loop is used to print numbers from 1 to 5. So kita buat skip dulu 1 hingga 5. So how to do this? So start with for, and we put I is some object lah, apa-apa object yang kita nak letak I in 1 to 5, right? So we want to print in 5 sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So kita letak open curly bracket dalam satu line yang sama, right? So the next row will be your codes to execute. For example, print I. So maksudnya apa yang dia buat? When I equal to 1, dia akan print 1. The next one, dia akan follow the next sequence. Ni 1 hingga 5 kan? 1 to 5 means ada 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first operation done, dia akan pergi ke second operation 2, lepas tu 3, 4, 5. So what happen here, dia akan print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, boleh faham the concept? So dia akan settlekan the first number, right, first sequence, and then once the settle first sequence, which is print I, this is very basic code, right? And then dia akan move to the next sequence, which is number 2, dia akan print I, which is number 2. Right, boleh faham? Okay, now let's look at the next example, right? Example number 2, which is summing the element of a vector. Right, so kita tengok sini apa yang dia akan buat. So here a for loop is used to calculate the sum of the elements of a vector. So apa yang kita nak buat adalah we want to add the number dengan sequence, right? Add the number with the sequence, right? So contoh, right? So let's say we create a number, right? So number kita letak satu elemen lah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And this is 7, 8 lah, right? Next, kita nak type some number. We want to add some number, which is you start with initial 0. So what happen here? Kita nak dia kira number apa-apa dalam number, right? Number means this one lah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then tambah dengan kosong, right? So tengok ni, let's say letak A in numbers, right? And then open curly bracket, and then letak sum numbers. So dia akan tambah lah. So sum numbers will be sum numbers plus A. A ni maksudnya apa? A dia akan tambah number kosong tambah 2, kosong tambah 3, kosong tambah and so on lah. Right? Maksudnya dia akan terkumpul kat sini. Bila kosong tambah 2, in the first place, kosong tambah 2, dia akan dapat 2. Right? 2 sini. Kosong tambah bukan jadi kosong dekat sini. The next iteration, first iteration is 0, right? 0 plus 2. So, it become 2. Right? So, dia akan store ni sebagai 2. So, the next operation will be 2 tambah 3. Jadi, 5. 5 tambah 5. 10. 10 tambah 6. 16. 16 tambah 7. Right? 16 tambah 7 berapa? 16 plus 7, 23. 23 plus 8 should be 31. So, kalau kita run dekat sini, so dia akan beritahu, oops, object sum numbers, ni S tak ada so be careful. So it become, I lupa nak letak satu lagi. We want to print sum number, right? Lepas tu kita nak print lah. So 31, nampak tak? Betul tak apa yang kita kira tadi? So kosong dekat sini, the starting number, sum number is 0, right? The first A is 2, kosong tambah 2, dia akan store dekat sini 2. So the next operation, sum number adalah 2. 2 tambah A. The next A is 3, 2 tambah 3, 5. So dia akan store sini 5. So 5 tambah 5, 10. 10 tambah 6, 16. 16 tambah 7. And then 23 tambah 8, 31. Right? So that's how the operation done. Hopefully you understand the concept first. Next, kita nak tengok example number 3. Are you okay with example number 2? Can understand, right? But you need to remember the 4 function, the 4 statement with the condition. They can start dengan open curly bracket, and the next row will be your operation, and then you will close the loop with the curly bracket on the next row, right? So what happen kalau you letak dalam ni juga, dalam still the same row of the codes, so still akan dapat jugalah, right? Benda yang sama. So it will not happen on if else. Okay, so let's look at example number 3, which is we want to change data type to factor level. Right, so tadi kita dah tengok with the element of if else, but now kita nak try change the data label, list of variable to convert to factor. Right. So, kita tengok balik structure of empty cars, right? So, tadi kita dah tukar kan? So, bila kita dah tukar, it will not do this. It will not affect anything lah, right? Sebab kita dah tukar. Now, what I want to do is, I just cari data 1 tadi. Okay, data 1 tadi kita tak tukar lagi kan yang seterusnya? Baru tukar 1 kan? Right? So, now, I nak tukar the same variable, but I'm using data 1. So data 1, I start dengan variable to convert. Right, variable to convert. So I letak CYL, and then I letak lagi apa? CYL, VS dekat sini, and then I put another one AM, and then gear, and the last one is carburetor. Right? Boleh? Next, I'm going to apply 4 loops, right? 4, right? Variable in, variable to convert, right? So, ini boleh letak apa-apa dekat sini, tak kisahlah. Ini boleh tukar apa-apa. So, let's say I letak Y in variable, I nak letak K, suka hati I lah, I nak letak apa-apa. Ini adalah something yang kita boleh adjust. Let's say I letak T, right? So, I open curly bracket, right? And then, I letak data 1, right? So, this is T, right? So, maksudnya, dekat T ni, data 1 T ni, so, dia akan depend T, the first T is CYL, the second T is VS, the third T is AM, fourth gear, and last is carburetor. So I'm going to change it to S factor, right? S factor data 1 T, right? And last I will check STR data 1. So remember tadi I baru check saja STR data 1 is only CYL factor, VS, AM, carburetor still numerical. So when I run this one, this code, so dia akan terus tukar. Nampak tak I tukar? Right, this is more simple compared to the previous example yang I bagi compare dengan if-else function. Right, so instead of kita buat one by one, now we can do it simultaneously. So this is very good when you have a large data, right? So normally kita akan guna inilah untuk change the data type simultaneously. Kita tak akan buat one by one, so it will waste our time. So let's look at another example. Example number 4, calculating mean for all numerical variable. Right, so now kalau kita nak cari mean, normally kita buat apa? Mean data 1, kita type macam ni, MPG, right? So dia akan bagi mean. Or we can type summary data 1. So summary data 1. So we will get the mean, right? But we need to read from all the result yang dia bagikan. So this is very difficult. So if you want to get a single mean for each, only mean for each numerical variable, kita kena buat one by one. So instead of doing that, kita boleh buat looping, automatekan everything. Right, so let's say I create means equal to numeric. We want to select only numeric variable data type. Right, and then I type, I'm going to loop through each column in data 1. Right, each column in data 1. So kita akan guna for call names, right, in names data 1. Maksudnya call names, I boleh letak apa-apa kat sini lah, I tak kisahlah. It's just something yang I letak kat sini. Let's say I letak A pun boleh. So I letak bracket. So names data 1 ni apa maksud? So dia akan beritahu data 1 names ataupun call names. Kita dah tengok this one, kita discuss this one detail kan. So we will check another condition if the numeric, the data is numeric, right? So data 1 based on call, based on A lah, based on A, right? Boleh nampak if dia numeric, so apa yang kita nak? Kita nak dia cari mean of A, right? And so kita letak means of A lah, so senang, means of A, and then mean data 1 A. Kalau dia ada missing value, kita letak NA RM equal to true, right? So what happen dekat sini, for this four condition I nak dia kira daripada 1 MPG, CYL, displacement, check every single value. So what happen dekat sini, dia check the first one MPG. If the MPG is numeric, true, so dia akan letak mean A equal to mean untuk MPG adalah this one. This is the operation lah, right? Okay. And then for if, this is the end of the loop of the statement, right? If condition, curly bracket open, quotes and close bracket. For the loop, everything, right? Dekat atas ni open, close, and this is the codes that we want to operate, right? So what happen here, dia akan calculate semua lah. So once dia dah calculate, dia akan letak dalam means. So you can type print means, right? So kita try sekali lagi. So dia akan bagi this one. Nampak tak? So all the value. So nampak kat sini lebih nampak jelas, okay? So all the mean value. So we already create a function, not a function yet, but a code to calculate mean for all numerical variable. This is very simple, right? Okay, boleh? So let's say I tak cukup dengan mean saja, I nak tambah lagi satu. I nak tambah dengan standard deviation, calculating mean and standard deviation for all numerical variable. Benda yang sama, right? So now I create the codes. So let's say I create means, should be numeric, right? So always check numeric. SDS, jangan letak SD saja. SD is a function, right? SDS should be also numeric, right? Now I will start with for loops, right? Say A in names in data 1, right? Now dekat sini ada code saya nak letak. If is numeric data 1 in A, right? So what I want to do is calculate means. Means A, mean data 1 A, and then na.rm equal to true. This is the same thing dengan atas, kan? Betul? Betul tak? The next one, I tambah lagi satu saja. Instead of satu operation saja, I nak dia calculate lagi satu, SDS. SDS A, right? Benda yang sama, SD. I just copy this one lah, senang. Letak dalam ni. Right? Settle. So next, what I want to do is, I'm going to print SDS, mean dulu lah, mean, and print SDS. So when I run, I will get the first result is about mean, the second result is about standard deviation. Right? Boleh? Ada soalan setakat ni? Very simple, I think. Kan? Boleh faham? So this is for single for loops, right? So in if else, kita dah tengok multiple condition if else, kan? So what we call, also known as a nested if else lah. So now kita nak tengok the second part, which is nested for loop. Right, so nested for loop. Oh, tak boleh, sekejap. So nested for loop, when we have a multiple loop, maksudnya let's say kita nak buat for two data set. For example, I want to find mean, standard deviation and median for data set empty cars, and also with iris data set. So iris data set is a ready-made data set. Kalau kita type iris, right, so it's a ready-made data set available in R, right? So kalau kita check str iris, we have 150 observation with 5 variable, all numeric, and we have one vector variable. Okay, so now let's say I want to find, let's say I type example, this is example number 6, right? So I want to find mean, standard deviation, and median for empty cars and iris dataset. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, first I want to list the dataset to process. Right, so what is the dataset I want to process? Is dataset list, letak list empty cars and empty cars iris equal to iris. Right, so what happen kat sini, kita tengok, so dia akan listkan, this is the first, this is about iris, this is about empty car. We already learned about list, right? So then what I want to do is, I want to state the statistical measure that I want to measure, which is statistical measure to compute, which is measures. I want mean, and then I want standard deviation, and last I want median. So all of these are the function name, right? Mean is for calculating an average, SD is to calculate standard deviation, median to calculate median. Now I will start with the looping, right? So for function, so now I nak loop through each data set. So function, data set name in name of data set list, right? So maksudnya setiap satu data set ada nama kan, MPG, CYL and so on. So setiap satu data set I akan cari dia punya nama, and then what I want to do is I'm going to do another loop for call name in names dataset list, right? So dalam dataset name, boleh faham, this is a bit complex, right? So dekat sini I nak cari call name dalam dataset ni, right? Setiap satu dataset ni, right? So now I create my condition. So what is my condition? If is numeric. Apa yang numeric? Numeric adalah dataset list ni lah. Ini adalah numeric. Alright, boleh faham? Kalau ini adalah numeric, so kita akan create the condition for if, right? I think sekejap ya, I kena, kita rehat 2 minit sekejap. First step I dah buat for dataset name in names in dataset list, right? So ini I nak cari nama untuk setiap nama dalam variable name in dataset, empty cars and iris. And then I akan buat cari each column. Maksudnya I nak create satu column baru based on the names juga, right? Tapi sekarang ni based on atas balik. This is sebab kita ada 2 dataset, so dia akan pecahkan kepada 2 lah. So dia akan buat 2-2. And then next kita nak check whether the condition is numeric or not. Kalau condition tu numeric, right? And then kita nak dia loopkan for measures in measures, right? So dia nak measure dia. Kita nak measure if measures ni apa? Mean, standard deviation and median, right? Okay, so measures is equal to mean, right? Now I nak buat nested, so value should be mean dataset list, right? under dataset name, saya besarkan sikit lah, so baru nampak dataset name, right? And then based on the call name, right? And then I nak tambah na.rm equal to true. So this is what we're going to happen lah, right? Nampak tak? Asal jadi kecil sangat. Okay. So ini satu, right? Untuk if function, right? And then I nak closekan dia dengan this one, right? Ini adalah satu if. Boleh nampak ah? Ini satu if, and then else if benda yang sama, measures equal to standard deviation, right? Open in a new condition, value equal to SD, and then I copy everything lah. This one, benda yang sama lah. Okay, dia memang sambung, right? And then I close this one, right? This is for second if. Next, else if measures equal to median, right? I open another condition, I copy this one, I nak letak median instead of SD, I letak median, right? Itu sahaja, right? And then sini kita kena make sure dia tutup lah, this one for this one. So for the second for will be this one, ada penutup. Dan bila you highlight, you akan nampak ada dua, nampak ni. Kalau you highlight kat sini, dia akan nampak tutup. This one dekat sini, second for, second if ini adalah untuk semua condition dalam ni, right? This one untuk ini, right? For loop number 3, right? And then this one for first if, this is second if, and third if. So when you run this one, what will happen? Oops. Data set list is not found. Where is the data set list? Oh, ada S kat sini jangan lupa. Okay, maybe I buang lah data set list. So now kalau kita print value, oh, kenapa dia tak keluar? Yeah, I think ada lepas something. Panjang sangat code kan. So measures. Wait. Oh yeah, maybe I kena print dekat sini sekejap ya. This one. Cat ni macam print jugalah. Let's say letak macam ni, right? Okay, and next see happen. Wait okay. next. Cuba run tengok. Okay, alright, this is good. Okay, now next we have for loops. Then I want to paste, maybe cat paste okay, let's try to run this one. Okay, nice. Right, kita tambah sikit lagi. Maybe I tambah this one lah. Copy, paste. Right. Okay, nice. Next. Ni dah last. Okay, then I nak paste lah. Cat paste measure. Sebab kita tak keluarkan apa-apa kan, so dia tak keluar lah. And then round value to alright. Sekejap. I think I lepas ni. So you boleh check balik the codes dalam my website lah, right? So you can check again. This one I already check, dah buat betul-betul semalam. Cuma hari ni masa presentation ni, maybe I terlepas something. Maybe if else tu kurang, but this one is okay. The result should be like this. Alright. So that's all for nested for. Right, nested for is going to be very messy, but if you want to find mean, standard deviation, and median only, right? Supposedly there are a function available in R that we can use to find mean, standard deviation, and median for all variable without using for loops, right? So which is kita akan belajar dalam dplyr package later on, where we're going to use summarize function. That one is very good. Okay, so I think that is for nested loop. Let's look at another one, which is I think while loop. Another one we have repeat and break. So I think that one we will look at on the next class before we enter new topic, chapter number 2, which is introduction to function. Okay, so I think that's all for today. Ada soalan tak? So ini nota ni I akan make it available dalam my website. Okay, wait . You can see, boleh nampak tak? So I think I stop and I reshare all the entire screen. So dekat notes on R ni, right? I already enable another notes which is looping. You boleh tengok dekat sini. All the codes are available yang tadi I sebut, right? So basically, I try to show you how many example I show you. This is example number 6, right? Okay, ada 6 example, but basically example yang last today tunjuk adalah example number 7, right? So you will get this kind of result lah. So next kita akan tengok while loop. dengan repeat and break. So repeat and break is supposed to be together lah. Repeat and break, right? And then then habis lah. And then kita ada next loop. And then dekat bawah ni ada exercise. Ada 4 exercise saja, tak banyak. This is very good exercise to do. Exercise ni boleh hold dulu. Maybe next week kita akan nak you submit this exercise lah. Kita akan tengok while, break, repeat, break and next. Okay, ada soalan tak setakat ni? Any question so far? No question. And then I want you to do the first exercise, right? For if and else. Another one is you tengok balik the codes yang I bagi dekat sini and try to do by yourself again. And tengok dalam buku juga pun ada benda yang sama. So dalam buku muka surat 62, 63. Right, so but this is very basic dalam buku. So dalam website I ni I letak for application lah, how to find mean, standard deviation and so on lah. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.